In preparedness, there's some debate about which is better, a power station, a pre-built power station, or a DIY build where you can change things out. And these days, with all of the different power stations available out there, these are more popular than ever. But today, I want to go over some of the pros and cons with each of these. And then hopefully by the end, you'll be able to decide which one is actually going to work better for your situation, because there are some differences. Now, both of these are basically the same thing. These are Life PO4 batteries, which these days are the best battery technology available, although who knows what that's going to look like in 10 years or so from now. But these are both Life PO4 batteries. Each of these units has the same capabilities, basically. This is a 200 amp hour 12 volt setup right here, which is pretty similar. This is 2400 watts, which is pretty similar to this one, which is 2000 watts or so. You can see this one is a lot bigger. I've also got this one right here, which is similar to the Jackery right here. This is one battery in here, one 100 amp hour Life PO4 battery, and it's only got a 600 watt inverter, but that could be changed easily, which I'll go through later. But the first thing I want to talk about, which is probably something on everyone's mind, is the cost of each of these units. What is the cost difference? And in my opinion, if you're going to go the route of putting together one of these DIY battery banks or even toolbox power station, don't do it with the idea of saving a whole lot of money doing it, because if you are starting from scratch, the odds are you're going to spend about the same or even more on a DIY battery build than you would for just getting one of these power stations right here. With that being said, the cost difference on a lot of these units, the Jackeries, these two units right here are about the same price, $600–700. This Jackery is 1,000 watt hours, and this one is over 2,000 watt hours. The same thing goes for these power stations right here that you're going to build yourself. It all depends on the components of this power station. Everything you see right here is basically inside one of these power stations. At a smaller scale, you're not going to be able to do that yourself because you don't have a design crew or research and development crew. You can't buy things in bulk, so it's going to be a little bit different, which is another reason why it's maybe a little bit more expensive than what these folks can do it for. But depending on the types of batteries you use, the inverters you use, the price is going to be different. So as far as cost between these two, it really depends. They're about the same, but it really depends on what you're using. You could put one of these together really cheap, and it may not last that long, but you could put one of these together for probably a few $100s or so. But it really just depends on what the components are. All right, let's talk about some other key comparison points. And one is capacity and expandability. Like I said, this one is 200 amp hours, which is basically the same, pretty close to the same size as this one right here. But with a system like this, I have room on the bottom there where I could expand that up to 400 watt hours if I wanted to, or maybe even switch it to 24 volts instead of 12 volts and expand it that way. Although you need to consider wiring and things like that. But with your DIY build, that is a possibility. Whereas with a power station, you're looking at, you can see I've got a few different sizes right here. You're looking at what you get is what you get. So you've got 1,000 watt hours right here. That's what you get. You've got 2,000 here. That's what you get. There's no expanding these. Some of them have the extra batteries that you can buy with them that are super expensive. But for the most part, you're really limited as far as how much you can expand these. I also have this battery down here, which I have hooked up to solar, and then I have a charge controller and everything down there. And you can plug this in right here, and this will take the power from that battery down there and put it into here. It's only going to go at about 100 watts because this is only 12 volts, but it is a little bit of extra energy that I can move from that battery into here. That's an option as well. And I'll go over another pretty cost-effective option towards the end of this video, but that is sort of how limited you are with this. With that, you can expand that as much as you want. And that's why a lot of people who are using 10, 12 kilowatts or have systems that can generate that much power, they are doing the DIY builds themselves. They're not necessarily using the power stations and the extra batteries unless they got a whole lot of money. But most people in the preparedness community, when they're building those large kits or those large setups, they are using this DIY build method and off-grid homes and things like that. So the scalability is one thing that is a plus on the DIY build side, a major plus on the DIY build side. Now, one that isn't is the portability factor. That is definitely a plus for these power stations. A lot of people like these regular power stations because they're plug and play. You've got they're nice and compact. You stuff them in the back seat of your car and you're good to go. This build right here would be pretty difficult. I could probably get into my truck, but I need a couple people to do it. This box that I built right here, I could put in the back of my truck. So these are a lot more portable, a lot more plug and play. You just turn the unit on and you're good to go. Turn on the AC, the DC, the USBs, and you are good to go. So they're usually less weight. It definitely weighs less than this. The Jackery in this weigh about the same. This one's a little bit heavier, but they usually weigh a little bit less. The form factor and the design, just a much more sleeker looking product, which could be a deciding factor for a lot of people. And then, like I said, the ease of use with these, it is literally you turn it on and you are good to go. Where something like this, one, you've got to build it and you've got to put it together, which takes a lot of research in the beginning and anyway, and you've got to make sure you have all the right parts. And then after that, it's fairly easy. I mean, I've got a 12-volt adapter right here. I've got my AC charger plugs in right here. Now that everything's hooked up, it's all fairly easy, but nothing compared to how easy one of these is. Another factor you have to consider is the warranty, and the warranty is only good as the company behind it, like Tommy Boy, right? Everybody wants a warranty. Everybody wants a guarantee.
It should always be on the box, comforting you, calling out, "I'm good, I'll never let you down."
A warranty from Jackery is going to be different than a warranty from Avery or Opez or anything like that. It really depends on how responsive that company is. On these, you're probably not getting a warranty on a charge controller or an inverter or your batteries. Maybe you would, but you probably aren't. So you are responsible for that. But like I said, because the warranty is dependent on the company behind them, you may have a problem with this and the company ghosts you and doesn't respond to you, and then you're hosed at that point. Whereas if that happens on one of these or something breaks down on one of these, you replace that one part and you're good to go. So the warranty and support, if it is a good company, if they are good with their service and all that, then maybe that is something that you would want to consider, or a lot of people would consider. But again, the warranty is only as good as the company. Something else is the safety factor. All of these come pre-built with all the fuses and everything that is making these as safe as possible, because they don't want lawsuits and they want to sell more products. And the safer these are, the better these work, the more they're going to sell of these. Whereas your DIY build, you are responsible for the safety. So if you don't fuse it properly, if you don't set it up properly, it can be sort of dangerous, which is a reason why a lot of people would just prefer these. But if you do set it up properly, it's not that hard. You just need to make sure and fuse everything. I've got an on and off switch right here, which I can completely disconnect the battery from everything up here and work on everything. And you can see I turned off the battery, but if I unplug the solar, now there's no power coming to this whatsoever. So it's going to just shut down. But I can turn this battery back on and everything works again. And I will plug the solar back in. But you can see that there's a lot of customization you can do with something like this. When I first built this unit, this wasn't here. This wasn't here. This battery was on here, this Renergy battery. There's a lot of customization you can do. This is all accessible, and I could change all of these little pieces out. This one I put together, it seems it's a little bit large and looks a little bit confusing, but I put this together as sort of a teaching tool to show how everything is working. Things coming from the battery, going to the bus bars, then going to the inverter, the charge controller, and then the fuse box right here. Whereas this one right here is put together exactly the same way, but when I did this one, I did it more for compactness. I wanted to see how small I could get something that was pretty similar to one of these power units right here. But back to safety, you are the one responsible. So like on this one, I've got a fuse here, I've got a fuse there, I've got a fuse there. All of these behind here, it's a mess back there, but they're all fused as well. So you just need to make sure that all of this is, it's not going to get too hot on you. You've also got a heat gun or even the infrared cameras that you could use, but you can use this heat gun to just check and make sure nothing is getting too hot. You don't want things to melt. You want to make sure the plugs are all doing what they're supposed to be doing and all that. The terminals, nothing is getting too hot. So it's not that hard to make sure that these are as safe as possible. But like I said, the plug and play factor and just everything is already done for you. That's what these power stations, that's the benefits these have. You also have to consider the lifespan of these batteries right here. They are both LiFePO4 batteries, and both have between 3,500 and 4,000 life cycles, meaning they're going to last forever. But if something gets damaged in one of these units, say this one of these cells, because a 100 amp hour battery right there is basically 4 different cells all hooked together. If one of those cells goes bad, the whole battery is basically toast at that point. It won't go up to the voltage you need. If that happens in this unit right here, this unit is toast. Unless, the warranty and support is really good, this unit is toast and you basically have a brick. Whereas in a DIY build, if that battery does fail on you, you replace the battery. That's as easy as that. So the life cycles and the batteries are basically the same, but you know the quality of the battery that you are using, whereas you don't know the quality of the battery that's inside here, because they can say whatever they want on their website, but what they put in there, unless you tear the sucker apart, you're never going to know. So which should you choose, a DIY LiFePO4 setup or just get yourself a power station and be done with it? Honestly, it really does depend on your situation. If you have technical knowledge or you really enjoy learning, that's why I put this together. I wanted to see exactly how this was put together and why this works the way it does. I'm that type of person. I want to know the why, because it helps me understand these a lot better. So if you have that technical knowledge or you just want to put something like this together, even something simpler than this, that might be a good idea for you. In preparedness, I think if you plan on getting this to be a really large unit, it is a good idea to start with one of these rather than spending thousands and thousands of dollars on these power stations. But if you do have, or you do eventually want a specific battery capacity or voltage, doing a DIY setup yourself is better because you can change that out. If you plan on expanding over time, which in preparedness, that's what we do in preparedness, is we expand, whether we're talking about food storage, water storage, skills, all this stuff. We start small. Maybe it's one like this one right here, started out as 100 amp hours, and then we build that up. Right now it's a 1,000 watt inverter because that's all I need, but I could put a 2,000 watt inverter if I wanted to. So if you want to expand over time, a unit, something like this is a lot better than just one of these, because with this Jackery 1000 right here, you're stuck with the 1,058 watt hours that is inside this unit, whatever it is. If you don't need something that is immediately portable, this one right here I have on a dolly and I can move it around, but it is nothing compared to, say, this one right here, which I can just grab by the handle and move it around, weighs about 50 pounds. Even this Jackery, or even my unit right here, which I can just move around. If portability is not that huge of a concern for you, maybe this one might be better. And if you are not worried about the warranty, or you can troubleshoot yourself, even if you enjoy that, figuring out what the problems are, then a DIY power station may be right for you. Where this one, once something goes wrong, it's just wrong and there's nothing you can do other than ask for help and cross your fingers that you get it. Now, when would you want to choose a commercial power station? If you are one that doesn't want to deal with all the hassle of this, you just want something that is plug and play, you want a couple thousand watt hours, you want to be able to plug in certain things, then this one would be for you. If you do want that warranty, if say you're getting a Jackery and you know they are responsive, then maybe a power station is something that you would need. Get one of the larger power stations. If you've got more money than time, maybe one of these power stations is good for you as well, because you're just too busy to put one of these together. It would take you too long. Maybe getting one of these power stations would work for you. And one of the main ones why I think these are so popular is just the aesthetics, the design, the portability, all of that goes into these power stations, sort of a keeping up with the Joneses type thing, right? It's a nice looking little unit right here, whereas if you have something like this, it's a bit of an eyesore to the average person. To me, I think it's great, but to the average person, they'd be like, what is that? But some people just want that power station that is, it looks nice, you plug something in, it's going to work. If you are in an RV, you travel a lot, you go camping, you may want one of these. This would work, whereas something like that just wouldn't work for, putting in your RV. Maybe if you made something like this, but for the most part, these are going to work like that. Now with me, if I have a couple of these because I've done reviews. If I didn't have these power stations, I would still go this route. This is something I paid for myself, something I started quite a while ago, and this is the route that I still want to take. But at the same time, I think that having maybe one power station, even if it's only 1,000 watt hours, something that will be able to power something that's 1,500 watts or so, something like that is nice. If you, like I said, if you do go camping, for us, if I have to go to the barn and there's no outlets or something like that, I can grab one of these, take that out there with me. That would be, this thing right here would be a little bit difficult to do that. So I think that in as far as preparedness is concerned, it's good to have maybe one of these. You don't need 14 of these like I have. But it's also, I think, important that we start working on this to build and be able to expand on something. If nothing else, for the knowledge aspect, learning how this stuff works, learning how solar works, learning how to set up the battery bank. You can see this one, I've got all black and red wires, the negative and the positive, sort of a instructional how this is set up. I don't have a detailed step-by-step video on this, but City Prepper has a fantastic video, so there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. He's got a fantastic video that I referenced quite a bit when I was putting this together, and I'll leave a link to that below. But I think all in all, in preparedness, we ought to try at least to put one of these together. It doesn't have to be anything like this. It could be something really simple like my lights out kit. I've got a Life PO4 battery in there, a small 20 amp hour battery. Nothing real complicated like something like this. And once you get to where you know what you're doing with stuff, you can try your hand at putting together one of these toolbox power stations, DIY power stations like I did, which is basically the same thing as here, except for the fact that if something does break down in here, a fuse pops or the inverter doesn't work, all I do is open this up, replace that inverter for $100 or so, $150, rather than having to replace the whole unit. So that's my thoughts on these. I'd love to hear what you guys think. What do you have? Are you just like, to heck with it, I'm just getting a power station and just using that? Or do you go the building your own DIY power station route? And what sort of batteries do you use and all that? Make sure and leave me a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you do. And if you do have any questions that I didn't answer about this or power stations or any of these builds that I have right here, make sure and leave that in the comment section as well. But until next time, take care and prepare, everyone. We will talk to you all later.